Hi, this is Eric Elder. I'd like to tell you about this little snail and the hope it gave me this week. I've been taking care of this little snail for my daughter while she's out of town. It doesn't require much work, a little tablet of food every other day. The snail is usually pretty active, moving around in the water in its aquarium several times a day, climbing over rocks and plants and clinging to walls. But about 2 weeks ago, it stopped moving. It just lay there on the rocks. I talked to my daughter. She said to move it with a spoon or something to a different location, so I did. A few days passed, and still no movement. She suggested cleaning the tank and replacing the water, so I did. A few more days, still no movement. After a week of this, I talked to my daughter again. I told her it hadn't moved in a week. "I'm sorry," I said. "I could wait a few more days." But in my heart, I was ready to pull the bubble maker. "I don't know," she said. "It probably is dead, but I've thought that many times." So we gave it a few more days. 2 days later, I looked in the tank. It was in a different position, about 2 inches away from where it had been. The next day, it was in another position. I hadn't seen it move, but it was in a new spot on the rocks. Then Thursday night, I watched an episode of The Chosen. It was about the healing of the woman with the issue of blood and the resurrection of Jairus' daughter. As I watched Jesus do these miracles, I was in tears. I had to push pause while I took it all in. Watching Jesus step into our world and do the things he did, I was overcome. The Bible stories we read now weren't stories in a book to the people Jesus came to. Their experiences were real, lived out in real time, and like nothing they had ever seen before. They had no hope. Then Jesus showed up, and their worlds changed. So did mine. I was reminded that everything I've read in the Bible is true. It's happened in my life. It's happened in others' lives. And it still happens today. I finished the show and went to say goodnight to the snail. I decided to pray, to plead, to believe that God would somehow raise it up again, and specifically that the snail would start moving again and cling to the walls like it had done before. I didn't have much faith. It had been 10 days. But I had seen some movement, and I had just seen Jesus do miracles. The next morning, I looked in the tank and couldn't see the snail. It wasn't on the rocks. It wasn't on the plants. Where had it gone? Then I saw it, right next to the bubble maker, clinging to the wall as fresh bubbles flowed all over its shell. It was alive. I couldn't believe it. And it was clinging to the wall, just as I had prayed it would the night before. It's a little thing, but sometimes the little things can give us the greatest hope. Was it a miracle? Was it a resurrection? Was it a healing? Was it just resting for 10 days and now decided to move again? I don't know. I don't know enough about snails to know what's normal. But what I do know is it hadn't moved for a week, and I was ready to pull the plug. What about you? What plug are you ready to pull? What have you given up on as having no chance at life? What dreams have been dormant in your life? What hasn't come to pass that you thought surely would by now? If Jesus can raise a snail, how much more can he raise whatever's wrong in your life? He's done it before. He'll do it again. I believe. And that gives me much more hope for the future than anything else possibly could.